The Devil of Montmorenci. He wanted her money, he wanted her sister. So he made a deal to have her killed. Edgefield, South Carolina. A place so violent they said if you wanted to get away with murder, you did it here. Martin Posey was born in 1815 to a poor family. He was a man with a thirst for power and money and no consideration for anyone but himself. They would come to call him the Devil of Montmorenci. Posey married into the wealthy Holmes family through his wife Matilda. And when her father died in 1847, Posey took control of her inheritance. But it wasn't enough. He wanted Matilda's teenage sister, Eliza, and he wanted her share of the family fortune, too. There was only one thing standing in his way: Matilda. In February of 1849, Posey made a bargain with an enslaved sawmill worker named Appling. "Kill my wife," Posey told him, "and I will set you free." But Appling was uneasy. He didn't trust that Posey would keep his word. So before the murder, he went to the plantation overseer, a man named Wilson Kirkland, and told him about the deal. On Friday, February 16th, 1849, Posey sent Matilda to check on the dairy house. Appling was waiting for her. He beat her to death while Martin Posey stood behind him and urged him on. They buried her in a shallow grave near a spring. About a week later, searchers found her body. But Posey had a problem. Appling was the only witness to what he had done, and the promise of freedom had always been a lie. Posey even tried to convince Kirkland to kill Appling for him. Kirkland refused. A short time later, Appling turned up dead anyway, shot through the head, his hands still tied together. Martin Posey had murdered the only man who could tie him to his wife's death. But he had forgotten one thing. Kirkland knew everything. Within a day of Appling's body being found, authorities arrested Wilson Kirkland. And to save himself, Kirkland told them everything: the deal, the murder, all of it. He named Martin Posey as the mastermind. That very night, a posse tracked Posey down. They found him hiding on the second floor of his father's house with Matilda's teenage sister Eliza. He shouted that they had the wrong man. They didn't. On October 10th, 1849, Posey went on trial in the Edgefield County Courthouse. For 4 days, the public pressed into the courtroom. The lead ball pulled from Appling's body matched Posey's own gun. Townspeople testified about his greed, his obsession with Eliza, and his plan to run away with her to the California gold rush. His lawyers tried one last trick, arguing he couldn't be convicted of a murder carried out by a man who was never convicted himself. The jury didn't buy it. They found him guilty of murder in the first degree. In February of 1850, Martin Posey was hanged. Between 4,000 and 5,000 people came to watch. He offered no confession. He met his death in silence. In a place where men got away with murder, Martin Posey did not. Follow Carolina Crime Vault, buried in Southern soil.